what to say and how to educate your clients in this market. We all have to rise up. If you want to make more money, if you want to sell more homes, if you want to, get more buyers, then you've got to be better at doing those things, right? It's day in, day out. It's a daily grind. That's the truth. It really is. So, I don't think things are changing, but if we all get better, we'll make more money, okay? Lots of negativity out there. We're all guilty of being negative ourselves sometimes, right? So real quick, what are the negative things you guys are hearing? Throw it out. From your buyers, from your sellers.
There's going to be a crash.
There's going to be a crash. That's a great one. Christine, is that what you said? What? Rates are too. Are they? Come on. Anything else? Just constant stuff. What do you guys are hearing? Okay, I'll show you my list. Sellers are too difficult to deal with. This is coming from agents, right? Buyers even worse. Rates and payments are too high. The values are way too high. There's a crash coming. I'm still waiting for that for the last 5-6 years. You don't get enough home for your money. It's too competitive. People getting burnt out because they keep submitting lower offers that aren't going to get accepted, right? Not enough homes for sale. It's just not enough homes. I don't want a fixer-upper, right? Okay. Negative news articles all over the place, all the time. Even the people that are supposed to be on our side. You go on Zillow and Redfin where they sell homes. Like, there's negative real estate articles on those websites, which is bonkers to me. They should be saying how great real estate is all the time. That's all they should be saying. Friends and family members that don't even own a home giving advice to our clients about buying a home. Oh, that's a fun one. Negative news in housing, we covered that. And it goes on and on and on, right? So here's the problem. With rates being between 6.5% and 8% in 2023, guess what? People are still buying homes. They are. They're still buying homes every single day, all the time, right? In fact, in the last 12 months, October, 14,000, San Diego County, by the way, 14,843 homes sold in the last 12 months, right? 7,930 condos sold in the last 12 months. We've got, what, 25 people here? We could get 20,000 sold within 25 of us, right? It's not too much to ask for. 1,000 a year would be great. That's a total of 22,773 transactions in the last 12 months. So there to there. I know there's 400,000 real estate agents in San Diego County. I get it, but we just got to do a better job of getting that piece of the pie, right? Crazy reality for us. When I say us, I mean mortgage people and real estate agents. In 2021, there was 40,600 total closed transactions. Police and everybody? In 2022, 29,300 homes sold in all of 2022. So far in 2023, just about 19,000 homes have been sold. So literally half the homes from 2021 to 2023, right? So if you sold 8 homes in 2021, you're selling 4 homes in 2023, right? Now, if you're doing better than you did in 2021, then give yourself a huge pat on the back, because that means you've fought through the crazy downswing in homes that are being sold, and your percentage is actually higher, right? The amount of homes sold each of the last 3 years has been declining, leaving less and less business to close. Crazy reality for buyers. Oh, sorry. I already covered that one, didn't I? No. In the last 12 months, 2,900 people bought homes that moved down from LA.
That's San Diego.
Right? In the last 12 months, 1,900 people from San Francisco came down to San Diego and bought a home. In the last 12 months, 947 home buyers came from outside of California. San Diego's a pretty rad place to be. So now you got 20,000 homes that have sold, and doing my mortgage math here, 3,000, 5,000, almost 6,000 homes came from people outside of San Diego County. That's bonkers. I don't know of too many places that are fighting against that, right? So it's competitive, it's gonna stay competitive, there's not enough homes being built in San Diego to make up for all people want to buy, right? So, like I said, things probably aren't gonna change, so we just gotta do better. Mindset, I'm so big on this. So big on your mindset, right? Because it truly is everything. Your mindset, your attitude, that's gonna dictate how well you're gonna do, right? With all of the negative news and the deals becoming harder and harder to come by, the negativity can cause us all to be frustrated. I know we just had a guy who's backing out of a transaction today because he had a personal problem that just came up over the weekend, backing out. For no other reason than just had a personal problem. He's like, right? Just little things like that, right? The frustration will cause you not to be on your game, and not being on your game will cause you to miss out on deals. It really will. If you're down in the dumps, when you have that opportunity and you don't take it, that opportunity to strike and close on the deal, you're going to miss it. You don't have that many at-bats. So it's so important to have your mindset being super positive every single time to get the most out of the tries that you have, right? Mindset. So what can we do daily? And I mean this, daily. To stay on top of your game, to beat the negativity, and stay positive. I forgot what I put. A couple examples. This is going to sound cheesy, super cheesy, but try it. It's actually really, really amazing. Call 2 people and just tell them that you're grateful for them. Tell them why you're grateful for them. I dare you to do that and then still be a dad mood. Hey mom, you're the best. I was a horrible kid. You're so good to me. I can't believe you love me. When you kicked me out of the house when I was 17, it was really the best thing you ever did. Thank you so much for being my mom. You're awesome, right? Hey, Jer. Sorry I flake out on you all the time. I always claim I'm working, but you're such a great friend. Thank you for being so great. I really appreciate you. You're just the best friend I could ever have, right? Do that 2 times, and then still be, right? You can't. It's impossible. Even just saying it, I feel better. So try that. 2 phone calls, tell them how grateful you are. Another one, win the day. I'm huge on this one. There's people out there that say don't make lists. They are. My wife said, you shouldn't make a list because it puts stress on you and this kind of thing. I love lists. I will make a list for everything. And then I'll lose my list and I'll anyways, I make a lot of lists. But what I love about the list is that you're crossing things off, right? Is anybody morning people here? Yes, well, I love this. Beautiful. Every morning, Taylor, Riley, and Megan, by the way, Megan's right here. She's our marketing coordinator. Give her a hand. She's sitting there. Where's Taylor and Riley? Are they not down here?
They're working.
Yeah. Okay. Someone's got to close lunch. Every morning, they get a list. Every morning, they get a list. 3 people. 3 people. 3 different lists. Every morning, like clockwork, by what, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, Megan, usually?
Yeah.
Something like that?
4:30, which is crazy.
Yeah. So, but the point of the list is that you're setting up your day to get going. And when we're talking about winning the day, this is easy stuff. It doesn't have to be long-term goals. It could be, it's Tuesday, it's garbage day, I gotta take the garbage out so I don't forget that my garbage cans get backed up. Make that list, and through your day, cross them out as you got it going. Because you might have had a crappy day. Escrow might have blown up, problems might have arisen, something might have come up, but if you get to the end of your day and you got 4 or 5 things all crossed out, you won that day. You win, right? And you start stringing that together day after day, week after week, month after month, and you start seeing all the things that you're accomplishing. There's no way you can't grow your business, you can't improve at doing your job if you're accomplishing things every single day, right? You ever have those days where you go through it, by the end you're like, what did I do today? Like, if you have a list, you're like, oh, I did these 4 things. That's pretty rad. Boom. Win the day. Win the day. Try it. I dare you. What do we got? Next one. Table work. Everyone's got their tables, okay? We're gonna take 3 minutes, probably 2 minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. What do you do to beat negativity? Then we're going to go around each table. I want to hear what you guys say. Just give me 1 to 2. Okay? Hit it. Go for it. Talk amongst yourselves. What do you guys do to beat the negativity day in, day out?
Grateful.
Good start.
No, I was just because it made me think about it. Like, oh, you know, I think I know you like the person and all that kind of stuff. I'm guilty of this. That's how it is, human nature, but still, it's
All right, we good? We good? All right, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. We're going to start in the way back. Felisa, Christian, Sam, Eric, what do you guys do to beat the negativity every day? What are you doing? Give me a little something.
So for me, one thing is, I'm sure for a lot of people, I like to work out in the morning. But before I even go work out and kind of start that part of my day, I try to spend some time with my son and my wife.
Ooh, I like that.
Before I pick up my phone or get on social media, or more than likely where I'll fail is I check my email and I'm like, oh no, I better just respond to this.
Yeah.
So I'm really good about, really intentional about trying to just have some quality time because it reminds me why I'm going out the door to be in this profession that can be frustrating at times.
Yep, that's huge. To add to that, there's so many studies done, you guys. So many. All you got to do is Google it, pop it up. Probably even pops up on your phone. You don't pay attention to it. If you get on your phone first thing in the morning, the type of light that comes through your phone, the activity that comes through your phone, it makes you depressed. Bottom line. So if you can do exactly what Eric talked about, wake up, do something else besides getting on your phone, which is hard, I get it. If you can, that alone is a way to get your day started. Christian, Sam, anybody else?
Yeah.
Felisa?
What I like to do is, well, one, I like to surround myself with success as much as possible. So, talking to other agents or listening to podcasts, things like that, tracking my goals. Really just hold myself accountable. I think if I can see that I'm making progress, like you said, every day, I mean, it's kind of hard to be stuck in a negative mindset because you are getting better than the day before.
Yep. Quick Christian said, stands out to me, tracking your goals, tracking your production. It's huge, especially when you're checking it all the time. Have a Google Sheets or an Excel spreadsheet that's accessible all the time. Write your goals down. Whatever it is you're tracking, if you do that daily, what a great reminder. Felicia, anything on that one?
I think to add it, just having a grateful mindset, just always going back to being grateful and just being aware of the little wins. I know day to day it's hard to see, we just judge ourselves on everything that's going bad.
Yeah.
We don't see like the little wins.
Yeah.
I personally do morning walks and
Yep.
just kind of get my mind right.
Yep.
And throughout the day, I just try to keep in mind what I'm doing right.
So huge. Living in gratitude is bonkers. What that'll do for you. Sam, you want to cap it off?
Yeah, I think we all said about just exercising, the importance of that in the morning is huge for me.
100%.
I do got my phone in the morning just only to message my mum because she's 8 hours ahead, and I go back off.
Yeah. There's a study done.
Hey mum, see you mum.
Yep, and then talking to your mom. This is my wife just showed me this because my son's a freshman in college, and she showed me this video. She's like, Parker sent this to me. It's my oldest son, and it was like talking to your mom is like is equivalent to getting a 45-minute massage or something like that, which I thought was funny because it's a big deal. You talk to your mom, and there's like there's some relief there. So for all you talking to your mom, keep it up. Table 2. What do you guys got over? Give me 2. Chris, Josh, Nathan.
Do the podcast and walk at the same
Yep.
time, depending on the day. It depends on the type of podcast I'm going to put in.
Yep. Cherie?
Definitely my exercise is number one. And then
Yep.
I like to journal.
Yes.
Because it's nice to be able to do that and remember those wins if I am
Yep.
starting to go down a
Yep.
yeah.
If you guys write this down, there's a doctor's name, Peter Attia, A-T-T-I-A, and just Google Peter Attia journaling. And hour and 45-minute podcast on journaling and how incredibly important it is and what a great tool it can be. So journaling is huge. Any other phenomenal ones from that table? No? All right. Table one. Anything? What do we got?
Perspective. So we had grateful,
Yep.
but putting things in perspective.
Yep.
Like I was just telling them, like sometimes my girlfriend might be like a little negative or something like that.
Yeah.
Look at how all of us, how we should be putting things in perspective. Like we're not getting shot at. We got a roof over our head.
Yeah.
We've got food. We're not starving. Like we're so much better off than a lot of other countries or even other places in the United
100%.
States.
Just
put it all in
living-
perspective that losing the deal sucks.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. You know,
Yeah.
it really is.
Who's here is not from San Diego County originally? Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot of people. I'm from Washington State.
A little bit more.
Yeah, I'm from Washington State, which is a phenomenal state, beautiful state. But there's 273 straight days of rain there, or whatever it was. Like living down here, I wake up every morning. I know it's not blue skies today, but I literally do. I smile, still to this day. And I've been down here for 25 years, so just the fact that you can live in San Diego County is phenomenal. Anything else, guys?
I just don't think don't get emotionally wrapped up in the transaction.
Yep. 100%. That's hard to do, especially when we're also vested to our clients as well. You guys, anything coming from this table? Krista?
Really a lot of collection from everybody.
Yep.
But yeah, I wake up with, I just thank God for my day, God for my day, but I just focus on gratitude and I only listen to and read positive things.
Yes.
So like your phone is a reflection of what you're paying
Yes.
attention to. So if you were to look
Absolutely.
at my phone, you're gonna see a lot of like positive affirmations, a lot of success things to kind
Yep.
of elevate me and keep me going with my mind
Yep.
and my mindset.
If you're going to
things like
spend
that.
time on your phone, have it be stuff that builds you up.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what
That's
mine's full of.
huge. I love that. I was listening on this table. Christine, I'm going to put you on the spot. She had a great one. What was it, Christine?
I do affirmations in the morning too, just because I'm kind of a negative person normally. So I have to start out positive because I know where it's going to go.
That's good. But hey, knowing that about yourself is huge. It's huge. It's the first step. We all have, call it what, I don't know even what you want to call it. If you consider it a flaw, well, at least you know that about yourself. That's huge. It's such a big point. So start it with affirmations, and then you end it with affirmations.
Well, that's kind of how I start my morning, and then I'm starting to meditate a little bit. I'm not really into it yet, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to get myself in the right mindset.
I got a story for meditating too, by the way. So obviously I've got a lot of energy, right? So I was like, I downloaded the Calm app, which LeBron James has the Calm app, right? So I'm like, I'm doing this 7 minutes a day. We're gonna meditate. It's gonna be awesome. Sat down in the dark in my living room. It was early morning. Started meditating. I was like, oh, what's over there? What's over there? This thing, like 2 days, could not do it. I'm like the dog chasing a squirrel when it comes to meditation. It's awful.
I will tell
So-
you it gets better because I was starting like that like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Now I have not been consistent.
Yeah.
But now when I go back, I really can calm my mind a little bit more. I mean, I still have those, did I? No, I'll get back to that. But that's the same thing with affirmations in the morning, is then the day gets kind of negative and I gotta always go, okay, let's not go there, go somewhere positive again. Because it's a constant battle to stay out of that negativity.
Yep, 100%. Affirmations and meditation is huge. 2 Cindy's?
What I do when I'm like in that negative space is I go pop by my favorite clients and sit on the couch and just talk and chat, and they're going to see your prices and relive history, and then hopefully they go, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you my sister's thinking about buying a house, right?
100%.
So that's what I do.
Yeah. Go back to the clients. If you're ever cold calling, doing your normal calls, always start with people that like you first. It's such a better, they pick up, they're stoked to hear from you, and then go on.
Save one for the end though, so after you get all those negative ones,
Absolutely. Good, here's my list. Exercise daily. That's so huge. Sleep, you guys. If you don't know the sleep, which is hard to do when you're in real estate, but sleep is incredibly important. It's just as important as exercising and eating right, which I think is the next one. Eating right, cutting out the bad oils, processed foods, all that kind of stuff, getting your gut health right. It's so huge. Breath work, I'm big on this one. Anybody do the Wim Hof stuff? I love it. Like, I'm a nerd. I love the stuff. Box breathing and Wim Hof, it's phenomenal. I'll do it while I'm in my ice bath. Yes, I'm in that guy. Got an ice bath. I won't talk about it anymore, I promise. Surround yourself with positive people. Distance yourself from the negative people. This is so huge. Doesn't matter if it's family or a longtime friend. If they're negative, I'm not going to say get them out of your life. Reduce the amount of time that you're spending with them. Okay? Cutting out is pretty harsh, but reducing the amount of time around negative people is huge. And that includes people in the office. That person's like, oh, Rick, it's so hard to sell a house. Like, okay, I'm gonna go over here and find someone who's like down to sell a house. Listen to motivational books, podcasts, YouTube shorts. I forget who said it, but whatever's on your phone. If you look at mine, I love comedy. Actually, funny story. Stand-up comedy is on my feed the entire time. In fact, after I got my IV, I'm over here just cracking up in my car, listening to my favorite comedians, and you get in and you're smiling because you're laughing so hard. The other one, and I think I told this at the last lunch and learn, anytime you're down, like you're tired and beat up, right? This is phenomenal. This is also on my feed. Kittens and puppies, right? Just pictures of kittens. Like, oh, so cute. It's amazing. It's on my phone. Go on there. It's phenomenal. That's a good one. Meditate. I've got it. This is phenomenal. I know it's fantastic. I have a hard time with it. Stay off your phone unless it's work. Eric's point was huge. If you're with your family, put your phone down and be present. Be with your family. It's the biggest thing, especially as dads. As dads, being present and your kid knowing that you're there and you're interested in what they're saying is huge. Moms, I coach without saying, right? I say dads can kind of think we're not as important, but it's so important. Put your phone down. Be present. Have a morning and midday routine. Who has a routine in the morning? It's so important. Routines, because it cuts through the chaos. When you have a routine, go ahead, Cindy.
Well, I could say I had to change my routine because it was doing damage.
Yeah.
I made that, I pick up my phone, and I'm a list person, I have to create my list.
Yeah.
And I finally figured out, somebody said, do your list the night before, and your brain's not going to wake you up in the middle of the night because you forgot things.
Yeah.
And it's really helpful.
That's awesome. You guys hear that? So do your list the night before so your brain's not going through the night, waking up all the time like I do. That's a great point. I'll wake up at 4 and be like, oh, do we order the appraisal? That's a bad one. Make those lists. That's huge. I love that. Routines are big though. They cut through the chaos. When you have a routine, you feel it's actually calming. It's calming because you're doing this all the time. It's hard to stay focused on what it is you're trying to do, right? Making lists, boom. I love lists. Find things that make you smile and laugh. For me, stand-up comedy, puppies, kittens, that kind of thing. That's it. So mindset, you guys, just to recap, it's so important throughout the rest of this year and all of next year. Do whatever you have to do to keep that positive mindset. It's huge, right? Because before you even get to saying the right things to clients, you got to come off the right way, right? What's your message? This one is going deep with me because I had an experience about 3 weeks ago, which I was like, I better put that in this lunch and learn. I'm not good at selling myself. Like I can get up and talk to people and do this and that, but I'm never going to tell somebody like, oh man, it's the best rates. We're so good at this program. I can't do that. It's not me. And if you are that way, that's awesome. I actually admire it because I have a hard time selling myself, right? So when we talk about what happened to me 3 weeks ago, this will make more sense. But my message, and I'm not selling anybody to try to use me, that's not what I'm doing, but explaining what the message is. I need my realtors to believe that they will be more successful with me as their lender, or they shouldn't work with me, right? And for my buyers, I need my buyers to believe they will have a greater chance at home ownership, or they shouldn't work with me, okay? That's my message to myself. That's what I'm buying into. That's what I believe, right? You all should have a message that you believe in because it shapes the foundation of your business. Like, you have to have some type of message. So here's the horror story. About 3 weeks, two or 3 weeks ago, timing doesn't really matter, we're just doing a pre-approval for an agent I've done tons of business with, right? And we were slammed this day. Sometimes over weekends you'll get 5, 6, 7 pre-approvals coming in, and you gotta get them done on Monday. And I just submitted this one over to the team to get the pre-approval going. About noon comes up, agent calls me, she's like, hey, where's the pre-approval? I'm like, oh, it's in line. We just got slammed. She's like, okay, I'm just gonna give it to another lender. I'm like, whoa. I said, hey. I said, I'll prioritize it. I didn't know it was a rush. I said, we've done tons of business together over the years. We got a great relationship. Just don't take the loan and send it somewhere else. And I'll never forget this for the rest of my career, probably the rest of my life, right? She said to me, she goes, you are not as valuable as you think you are to me.
Wow.
Right?
What a dick.
You are not as valuable as you think you are to me.
Wow.
Right?
She wasn't invited.
Number one, that's super harsh. It really is. Right? That's super harsh. Yeah, it was Jesse. But here's the thing. They got me thinking, right? I didn't get mad. I was pretty mad. But once I calmed down, I started thinking about it. Here's the reality. I never took the time to tell her my message, and I never took the time to tell her about all the things we do that separate me from everybody else. Right? If you don't tell someone, how are they going to know? She just thinks it's Josh the nice guy. I didn't add any value. Yeah, we do our pre-approvals in 3 hours or one day. Yeah, we do all those things. But if you don't tell someone what your value is, none of your clients think you're as valuable as you think you are. How many people have buyers that use you, have you drive all over God's green earth, show properties, and they go with some other agent over here? How many times have you put a for sale sign, a for sale sign has gone up in your neighborhood, and you know the person, and you know that they know you're a realtor, but they went with somebody else, right? Family member, same thing. I didn't take it personally, I took it fact. I'm just telling you guys that story. I'm not valuable to that agent because I've never taken the time to tell my agents my message. It's because they don't know how valuable you really are, right? And if you don't tell them how valuable you are, they're never going to know. Because we know what we do every single day, right? I get texts from you guys at 8 o'clock at night. I'm just leaving a showing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, at 8 o'clock at night? That's bonkers. But your guys' job is hard. Like, I see all the memes of people saying, I want to have my own free time. I want to make my own schedule. I'm going to show beautiful homes. All the people are going to be nice, right? I'm going to be a realtor. And then you find out, what the reality is, right? Plug yours, Jesse. Here we go. Point being, if you don't tell someone what your value is, you're just like everybody else, right? What did I put here? That is the mindset I have to keep. So my point now that I've gone through this is it. I'm hanging my hat on this. And if I don't connect with each one of you and tell you what my value is, shame on me, right? So think about that when you're talking to your clients and all the opportunities that you have to tell them what your value is to keep them on board with you. Yes, ma'am?
The challenge there is to explain your value without coming off like a sales pitch.
Yep.
That's the hard part.
It is. But I'll counter that with this. Would you rather take your time away from your family, the things that you enjoy to do, spend your gas money, do all those things because you don't want to come across salesy? Or is it worth it to sit them down at some point during that transaction and tell them what your value is and what your value proposition is, right? Because we can all sprinkle it in. Maybe you don't I've got this checklist I'd like to review with you, and go one by one. Maybe that's not the move, but maybe over first phone call, second phone call, third phone call, fourth phone call, you're sprinkling in as you're talking to them. When you get to a home and you're showing them this property, great opportunity as you're showing them this, this house has 2 skylights, and I'm a phenomenal realtor. This house has a back door, just tell them when you can. If you don't say anything at all, I think it's far worse. Just my opinion. Yes, Gary?
Telling it in stories too. So you can just bring up all your past, or make them up if you're new, and just like, oh, I remember one client, I had this happen and whatever, and this is what I did, and just stories.
Yep.
Sprinkle them in.
To further answer that, or give additional thought or strategy, is that as you keep doing this, you'll find that, so much of what we do is repetitive, right? You're showing a house, the house is different, but you kind of go into the same routine. You'll find ways to inject, I should say, what your value is. Okay, so I'd say look for the opportunities to say it. Maybe be a better way to think that one through. Does that make sense? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so my message, and this is long, I'm gonna go really fast. I will protect your commission and your time. I'm always gonna be positive. I really feel like 95% of the time I'm positive. If you guys ever get me on a grumpy day, I apologize, but I'm really, what's up? Felisa, how we doing? Yeah, Josh, what's up, dude? Right? Like, trying to be positive every single time. Be able to deliver the good news and the bad news. Upfront consultations with client massive attention to detail. We talk to every single lead. We're not trying to do online applications. Loan process with 0 surprises. That happens most of the time. We have an extremely high success rate of closing on time and not getting loans denied. Over the last 3 years, since we've been tracking, we're at 98% of our loans closes on time or early, which super proud of that. That's great. We can underwrite loans and be ahead of time, so we can close all loan types 17 days. We communicate. You will not have to wait for answers. Because we're a mortgage broker, we're sending you are sending your client to a lender that will always have a competitive rate. We may be beat, but it's rare. Rarely do we lose due to the rate. If we do, it's usually very little. If there's a way to get a loan done, we'll get it done. Local reputation. We've been at this for a long time. When agents around the county see our approval letters with our names on it, it matters. My value is not attached to an interest rate. And my personal self-worth is not attached to a loan. I'm going deep on this one. Because I want a client, if a client chooses to work with somebody else, if they get a better deal, I'm going to tell them, dude, that's a better deal. Go with that. You're crazy. I'm not going to sit here, and I've heard plenty of stories where lenders are trying to guilt people to go with their loan, right? Horrible way to be. Horrible. I want that client, if I do tell them to go with the other deal, to go back and tell that agent, Josh was rad. He told me there was a better deal to go with them. He told me that 100% should go with that person, blah, blah, blah. You get what I'm trying to say, right? So that's my message, right? It's so important for everybody to have a message. I want you guys to take 2 minutes at the table. Everyone has a way of telling people what they're good at or why they're valuable. Come together really quick as tables, come up with 2, and we'll come back and talk about it. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Great, Krista, you guys.
I've never listened to house song all that.
There we go. 2 things that show your value. What is your value add when you're working with your clients?
Well, for me, it's been in the business a long time, and I've never used a TC, but I know some people have to. They have a family, kids, and blah, blah, blah. But I am a one-man show, and I've been for 20 years, and my clients like that.
Yep.
And they're pretty dedicated. So.
Just that personal one-on-one
If I had
service.
children at home, young children or something like that, I would probably have to brag about my team.
Yep. 100%. Absolutely. That's great. Any others? Krista?
No, really, that was joining in that. Yeah, just kind of assuring them that I am there for them.
Yep.
And that I'm listening. I want them to feel it, to know that I'm listening to them. Sometimes I hear what they're saying so that they understand that I'm listening to them. So they get a sense of, okay, she's on my side. She's there for me.
Yep. Absolutely. Cool. Sherry, Chris, Josh, what do we got for this table? Value. What's your value?
Communication.
Sure did. Yes, you did.
Communication.
Yeah, communication. Availability, right? Like, to me, it sounds so simple that I will answer my phone. I don't call my clients back. But it happens a lot, where buyers are gonna, sellers are gonna call back the whole day. Like, to me, that's just crazy.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's my feeling. So, always be available unless I'm in a meeting with another client, but then still calling back.
Cool. Availability and communication, right? The con of this. That agent just wants this deal to go through so they can get paid. I hear it regularly. I really do. So making them feel that you really are there for your best interest, it's a big deal. It really is.
I use the wording, I'm relational, not transactional.
Ooh, I like that. Absolutely. Relational, not transactional. When you're transactional, it's
All about the check.
not only that, but it's hit it and go,
Yep.
right? Relationships is where you want it. That's what pays the bills. Stay in touch with all your people after you close. It'll pay dividends, right? All right, let's see what my little brain came up with. I put my realtor brain on. Listing, this is for listings. Here we go. I'm the best negotiator in town. I'm gonna get you the highest value in this market, right? You gotta believe that, okay? And don't be afraid to tell people. I have a team that is the best in town, so that my main focus is to sell your home. I'm not stuck doing paperwork. I sell all day. Hey, what's up, Ruth? How you doing? Come on in, come on in. So this would be the counter to exactly what Patty was saying. You use your strength to what it is, right? If you're a one-man show, that's a strength, right? You just sell it that way. If you got a big team, sell the big team. I'll make sure we get it done within your time frame and get you the highest price, right? These are your values. My team company has a huge market share, which means we have a lot of buyers. A lot of buyers means more exposure for your home, more opportunities to push the value for your home, right? Find these things that you can tell your clients because it brings value. It does, okay? Here we go. What's your message to buyer clients? I won't make you guys do table work on this one because it's all kind of the same board. 30% of all of our buyers win in multiple offer situations. They are not the highest offer. I just made that up. If one of you guys is
Sounds great.
The point being is that if you track your offers, whatever, and you can tell someone that you get more offers accepted and it doesn't have to be the highest, that's a lot of value. It is. And if you're, yes ma'am, Patty.
I know everybody in here knows this, but sometimes you get your offer accepted with the agent because they had a good experience with you in the past.
Yes.
Yep.
Because I think that our reputation with agents is just as important as it is with clients.
Yep.
So I just wanted to add that because that's helped me.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Yep.
Sometimes
I'm going to add to that. So 100%. And I think about this because it's not just that agent, it's that office. How many times have you guys come back and you're like, this agent on the other side is a real piece of work. They did this, this, and this. Oh, really? What's that agent's name? It was Steve Kaufman. You're like, what, Steve? Okay, right? No, I'm just kidding. Steve Kaufman's back there. But my point being is that it gets around. It's a little town, right? And you could totally lose deals. Like you come across and they have a buyer, and you're like, hey, Patty, what was that name of that horrible agent that you worked with? Oh, Steve Smith? Oh. You'll have access to the pre-market and coming soon properties. I don't know the legalities on that. Do people have pre-market stuff?
I just put two in escrow for pre-market.
Oh, done. See, that's a selling point. If you're talking to your buyers, absolutely should be using that line because what if the other agent they're interviewing does not say that? Then you want them to know that. That's a value add for sure. My team will get you into a property when you need to get into a property. Who's just telling me a story? About their client that's from China? With the loan officer from China? Cherie was just telling me this. Her loan officer's in China for 10 days or something like that. And she can't get an approval letter, therefore they can't get an offer accepted. Pretty bonkers. This is huge. There are agents out there that are busy or out of town and they can't show it to you. That could have been the one. My team will jump. We have a big enough team that when something hits the market, speed is so important, we'll get you in to see that home. If you guys aren't on a big team, just make sure you have a friend that's a realtor that knows when you're gone so that you get in home, right? That's a great selling point. Because if the other person's not saying that, you should be. We do so much volume, and again, it doesn't matter if you're on a team or just work for a company. Cindy, how many transactions does Coldwell Banker do in just your office?
Well, my office is 110 agents.
That's 110 agents. Right. So her office, let me just make this up, does 1,000 transactions per year, right?
It's a lot.
You have access to all of that information. It's a big deal, right? The brand. You guys have
283.
agents. Just, yes. No, I'm just talking about real estate. Yeah.
Oh.
My point being is you have tons of opportunities. You should be selling that. You should be offering that as a value add. It's huge, right? I have a great lending partner that will call, send videos and text messages to really sell your home. And yes, videos are coming soon. But it's true. Like, if your loan officer is in China and they can't get a hold of them, it is a team approach on getting offers accepted. When they send the offer email, are you including the loan officer on there so they can reply right away, raving about that client's ability to qualify and their ability to close? Is that loan officer calling the listing agent right away saying, hey, just want to let you know, blah, 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 blah. Listing agents love it if they're not hunting down the loan officer to try to hear about the financing, right? So when you're pitching, doesn't matter if it's me as a loan officer, it's not my point. Whoever your loan officer is, if they do these things to you, you gotta sell that point. You got it, right? Because the other person might not be saying that, and you get the deal. Or if the other person's saying that and you're not saying that, well, the other person's looking pretty good, right? What was I talking about? Oh, we're just talking about your messaging. So is that clear on messaging? Anybody want to add anything else on messaging when you're providing your value to your buyers or listing clients?
Just
Pretty
let
good?
them know, too, that you've got great communication as far as speaking with the other agents too,
Yep.
I mean, that's super clutch right off the bat.
Yep.
I'm speaking to other agents that you've never spoke to ever, and just the way you deliver it, sometimes they come off very standoffish. After a while, they start to loosen up to you a little bit, and anytime they send anything to you, doesn't matter if you're on the toilet taking a shit, you grab your phone, and you send something back to them and say, "I'll get right back to you," or whatever it is. That response time really does make a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that.
All of that.
Because then they come back later on, and this guy here will vouch because he helped me out when we were heading out of town. We were up against 21 different offers.
Yeah.
We were a low offer, but they took our offer in the top 3. And the reason being was because of communication.
Yep.
She's like, look, you guys are nowhere near the price. She's like, we're going with you because of the way you've been communicating. She's like, it's been nonstop.
Yep.
And I'm like, I never had a chance to wipe my ass, but.
There we go. All right, next one. So, if you guys are not using these value adds, I would encourage you to take the ones that you like. Take the ones that you like, the way you feel fits your style, and incorporate it into your vernacular, your verbiage when you're talking to clients. Here we go. Find the why. Somebody mentioned this earlier, and this is so important. When you guys are talking to your clients, if you dig enough and finding the why, they will tell you how to sell them, right? So many times, especially on the loan side, I'm guilty of this for sure. I'm sure my loan officer friends out here are guilty as well. You just want to get to the application because it's 11:40, lunch starts at noon, and you just want to get through that application, right? But you're missing out on so much, right? When you're taking the application or you're talking to your clients, don't be in a rush to skip over the whys. You got to dig deep. Why are you moving? I know these are elementary, I get it. Why do you want to buy? School district, mom, dad's moving in, relocating for work or growing family. Don't talk about the why just the one time. This is big. If someone tells you why they're doing this, because remember, it's the fog of war right now. Rates are high, home prices are high, payments are high. We got to keep them focused on the why versus all the other bad things that are going on, or maybe not bad things, the difficult things that are going on, right? So keep repeating their why when you're talking to them, okay? This will work when done face-to-face. Obviously, if you've got to do it on the phone and you want to start the process on the phone, great, but don't forget to do the why when you're face-to-face. Why? Because you get the inflection, you get the tone of the voice, you get to see their facial expressions when they're explaining this stuff, right? It's a big deal. By the way, when you find the why, make sure that you share that with your lender, okay? Or if the lender finds the why, make sure you share it with the agent, right? Okay, What are your best why probing questions? When you guys are on talking to your clients, what are your best why probing questions? Take 2 minutes, come right back. Yep, exactly. Felicia, spot on. And then also vulnerability. How do you say that? Vulnerability is huge.
Don't hurt yourself.
It's huge. If you expose yourself as a real human being, you're gonna get so much more out of it, right? So that's huge. Chris, Josh, Nate, any what's the why? Best probing question when you're talking to a client. Sherry?
Understanding their motivation. Why are we out looking at homes today?
Yeah. Yep. Perfect. Good.
Yeah, and I think that same question then establishes timing.
Yeah. Yep.
Important.
Yep.
Of the why.
Cindy's, we'll go to you guys. Cindy and Christine.
Yeah.
About that?
Yeah.
Cool. Patty?
Why do you want to buy now?
Yep. Yep.
Or what do you need?
Yep. Krista?
Can't think of anything else.
Janine?
That was it.
Okay, cool. Good.
It really just a relationship versus transactional.
Yep,
You're gonna get
exactly.
more from them.
Annabelle, Ruth, Gary, Steve, Jesse?
Motivation tends to turn into why.
Yep, absolutely. Cool, very good. Dig into the whys. Don't stop asking why. Keep going. Why? Okay? Your time is money. This is so big, you guys. I see so many agents, especially new agents. They just allow the client to drag them around for hours on end, and they have no respect for your time because you don't tell them about the market, right? You're not bringing the tough news to them, and if you're not bringing the tough news to them, they don't have to set the expectations. So get to the realities of the market ASAP. How do you guys go about talking about market conditions right now? Do you bring it up right away? Do you wait till you show them 3 or 4 homes? Do you wait till you're submitting offers? Who goes right away?
I go right away.
Awesome.
I like to turn whatever I can into a buyer consultation.
Yep.
And that's one of the first things we talk about. What is your understanding of the market right now?
Yeah.
Have you talked to anybody that shared that with you? And that's also the way of finding out if they talk to other agents.
Yeah. That's a great question, guys. What's your understanding of the market right now? I like that. Yep.
I always start with that, and I set realistic expectations for them, and they always appreciate that.
Yep.
They feel well informed and educated, and then they're more ready to go
Yep.
when they understand.
I don't know what all top agents do, but I do know that I don't know a single top agent that sits there and lets people dictate how the process is going to go, right? People love, at the highest levels, it could be a CEO of a major company. They love being told what to do. They really do. If you set the stage properly, you can make that happen. So get in that habit. Be upfront. Your clients will appreciate it. If you're not upfront, you could drive around for 20 properties, and all of a sudden they get mad and frustrated, and they storm off to the next agent anyways.
They'll blame you.
What's that?
They'll blame you.
Yeah, they'll blame you, exactly. So take the time to be upfront. When do you educate your clients on the difficulty of what it takes to get an offer accepted? I'm assuming right up front, you guys, right? Going straight into it. Cool, awesome. How do you discuss current market conditions? We talked about that right up front. Discuss how buyers feel when a property they like goes in the market and then comes off in 2 days because it's in escrow, right? Do you guys use Altos reports? Do you guys actually, do you pull it out? Does anybody ever pull it out when you're meeting a client and you're showing them all the different market conditions? I was new to that with the brand meetings.
It can be
And
helpful when people are looking at more than one area.
Yeah.
And you can talk to them about maybe how things
Yeah.
are different in Vista versus
Yep.
whatever other area it might be. And
Yep.
they might want to zone in on a certain area, it's less competitive.
yeah, 100%. How to discuss difficult items. In the real estate world, high rates, high payments. What do you say to a buyer if the buyer's putting down a little bit of money? If you guys have clients that have a very low down payment, are you saying anything? You're just like, okay, that's great. Are you asking if they?
Saying my lender has some great programs where you can get in with very little money.
Yep.
You wanna talk to them?
Yep. How
Maybe
about?
this afternoon?
Do you have access to more funds? Right. Do you have access to more funds? Do you have family that can help you put more money down? Right. So here we go. Best responses. I want you guys to each do a response for each one of these. When someone tells you rates are too high, what are you saying? When someone's saying the payment's so high, what are you saying? When someone wants to submit a lowball offer that you know is not going to be accepted, what are you saying? Okay, so take 2 minutes. 2 minutes only. We're going to come right back and we'll share our answers. Here we go. Boom. Hit it. Interest rates are so high. All right, we're bringing it back. We're going to go open answer on this one. Who's got the best response to the interest rates are so high right now?
You can buy down.
Right, you can buy down. That's a great one. You can buy down. Yeah, you can refinance. Anybody else? Anything else on rates are so high? Not too high, but so high. We got buy down and refinance.
I like Cindy's.
Cindy, what we got?
I actually say, in actuality, if the interest rates are anywhere in the 7s, that's actually the average interest rate that we've seen over the last 30 years. So let's not focus on the interest rate. Your problem is your payment.
Ooh.
So let's look at your monthly payment and let's really dig deep. If that scares you, we're shopping in too high of a number. We'll back it down. That's how I just roll it.
I like that. Everybody hear that?
Yes, indeed.
I like that. Absolutely. Aaron?
Yeah, I agree with them. I think rates are so high right now. I think everybody agrees that rates are high.
Yep.
So I tell clients on the phone as a loan officer, like, I agree with you, they're high right now.
Yep.
And then I explain to them the pros of buying in a market where rates are high and how the competition is less. And I'll put together what I call a total cost analysis that breaks down the difference of when rates were really low, how much people were overpaying, and that the difference in price is generally less than $150 per month, even with where rates are, because they're not paying over asking. And then I explain to them, with less competition, they'll get a house they like a lot quicker, and then when the market comes down, they're able to refinance.
Yeah, if anybody thinks it's going to get easier when rates come down, woo, buckle up. Buckle up, right? So, huge. Okay, the payment's too high. Who's got a comment for the payments are too high?
I have a page.
You have a page for it? Jessica got a whole page dedicated to the page too high. Anybody got a good zinger, though?
I say rents aren't very cheap either. I mean, let's calculate the amount of money you're putting back in your own pocket versus the amount of money you're putting in someone else's pocket. At first, it might be more than what you're paying for rent, but within 7 years or so, you're going to be paying the exact same mortgage as what everyone else is paying in rent.
Yep,
If
100%.
it's
You
a
got it.
new client, Josh, I think it's important to ask them, where are they getting that information?
Yeah.
You tell me the payment's too high, where did you get that payment out from? 9 times out of 10 is a mortgage calculator online, which we all know take all these different things into account that aren't necessarily accurate for the client. And that's, again, gives us another opportunity to get them over to our lender.
Yep, 100%. That's so huge. How many times doing calculations for someone they're like, the payment says it's going to be $6,000. Like, it's $4,200. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Or the opposite. They think it's going to be $4,200 and really $6,000, right? So those calculators online, no bueno. Like, get them, that's a great question. Where are you getting that payment from? Great.
The point to me, Josh, is the client needs to understand, and there's a calculator for this, that with the interest write-off that they're getting from owning a home, that truly, and especially first-time homebuyers don't realize this, that's real money at the end of the year. So let's just say they're saving $6,000 on their taxes a year, right? They're getting $6,000. Like, your payment's actually $500 less.
Totally.
And I'm telling you, 99 out of 100 buyers, when they hear that, they've never heard that before.
No idea.
I'm like, oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah, I've got a whole slide dedicated to that.
That's a great way to get that, thinking of them thinking of that payment.
Yep, 100%.
Plus, my understanding too is, and I refer them to a CPA, but it's like they can also claim more if they're like a W-2 employee. If they're renting and then now they're going to buy and maybe their mortgage is $300 more than what they're renting, whatever. It's like, you can claim a little more. But talk to your CPA. Talk to your CPA, but you can claim more because of the reason for
Absolutely, that's a real deal. Don't wait till the very end of the year to get all that tax back. Do it up front. Lisa?
I think it's also asking more questions and not going straight into answering.
Yeah.
Or saying, well, you know, what do you think is not high enough? Or they're usually fear-based, so, and they're basically just saying what everybody else is telling them.
Totally.
Oh, prices are out, just kind of ask them questions and just ease their fear a little bit more instead of going straight to, well, you know, it's not that high. Or,
Yeah. High? No, it's not. Totally. Christine.
The payment may seem high now, but the rent's going to surpass that. Where right now you could fix this for 30 years.
100%. When you buy a home, you're fixing in your payment with the opportunity to go down. When you're renting a home, unless you got some sweetheart deal, that thing's only going to go up. And I've got a whole screen dedicated to that. Okay, submitting a lowball offer. I'm always curious on this one because I always hear when I'm talking to you guys, oh, he wants to submit this thing at 500 and it's 540. How do you address that lowball offer? Who's got a great comment to clients who wants to submit lowball offer after lowball offer, which you know is only going to frustrate them and they're going to end up not buying a home? So it's better to say something up front. Christine?
No.
Huh? Christine says no. That's it.
There's just, there's no point wasting your time or the paper. Let's move on to something that's better suited for you.
Yeah.
I tell them that I'll reach out to the listing agent before I even take the time to write up an offer and say, hey, this is what they're thinking, because you never know. You might get something where you can go at least a little bit lower. And then I had a client a few years back who wanted to go low on everyone, and I took the time and did a CMA, and I just looked at all, like, in the area we were looking at, what the homes were listed for, what they sold for, and put the difference of, like, just to show them, like, just about every one of them was either at list or above, not below. So
And that's really important
put
too.
them into
because
reality, you know.
I had someone who came from like the East Coast or whatever, and I always pull comps and I talk to the agent before we do anything. And this lady was like, "Oh, you always offer 20% below." And I was like, "Really?" I said, "Well."
That's what she said?
Yeah. So she
just as a starting point.
In
So you want to put your best foot forward.
And so I said to her, I said, "Okay, well, we should probably look and see what the comps are." I said, "But what if this was priced 40,000 or 40% high, and you're going to offer them your static 20% low? You've overpaid."
Yeah.
So it's always important to look at the.
Having all your numbers ready before you make an offer is so huge. Absolutely. Richie.
So that's a tough one because a lot of times we want to just turn it flat, we don't turn it down. But as an agent, it's our fiduciary duty to take care of the client. So if you say no, there's a chance that that client will say, all right, well, I'm going with someone that will do.
Yeah.
So I'll do exactly what I just heard. I'll say, well, listen, here's the comps. This is what's going on in that market right now. However, there are a few items that need to be addressed on this home that would probably appraise at a lower price. So if that's what you want to do and you're prepared to be turned down, flat turned down, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost me any money to write an offer. I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
And with that mindset, one of the last escrows, I just purchased. I just got a buyer in it at $750 in a neighborhood that's anywhere between $8 to $875. So I know it works.
Yeah. Totally. 100%.
I think, Josh, I just want to say really quickly, I think one thing, the term that I like to use is the word strategize. Can we strategize for a minute?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Yep.
And then do exactly what everybody's talking about. Make sure you know the comps, talk to them about actual market value. And I always give them a range where I think it could appraise.
Yep.
And then be like, okay, if you were the seller, why would you be willing to accept that low of an offer? What we don't want to do is offend the seller to the point where they reject it altogether.
Totally.
We just have no room for negotiation.
One to add to that, and I love that, the word strategy. One thing I started using a couple of years ago, and I like it. I don't know if you guys like it, but I thought it sounded smart. It's just one strategy we might want to consider. One strategy you might want to consider. And if you approach it as, I'm telling them what to do versus, hey, here's some advisory things over here that you might want to consider, it puts them into a different mindset. It's like, oh, I will consider that. And it gets them thinking a little bit more, thinking a little differently. So a strategy you might want to consider. I like that one. Patty?
Two things. When that happens, I always try to get them back with the lender so we can give them a chart or something that they visually can see.
Yep.
If they offer 10 grand more, or 20 grand more, or whatever, this is going to be the payment.
Yep.
And sometimes you read the listing, the seller needs extra time, or things like that. You can somehow make it a quicker escrow, or make the terms for the seller that they need to rent back for a couple of months.
Yep.
Those kind of things not everybody can do. Sometimes that helps too.
100%. Absolutely.
But the lender can definitely give them a chart,
Yep.
something that
Yep.
shows, oh my God, 10 grand more, that's not, that's,
Exactly. But yeah, $80 to your payment. Of course you get 10 grand more. Absolutely. Perfect. Okay, good. We're running out of time, so I'm going to fly through. Work with clients that are pre-approved. So many clients, so many agents I run into are just running around all over the county, and the client's really not pre-approved. You guys got to do your due diligence in making sure they are. This is not a pitch for us at PGS or any of the loan officers. It's just what you need to do to protect yourself. Okay. Ask the probing questions. Who's the lender? If it's some out-of-state credit union, whoo, buckle up, right? If it's Bank of America or Wells Fargo, buckle up. What's the bank's name? Get it. Did you complete a pre-approval or a pre-qualification? You guys should absolutely be asking that, because a pre-qual is garbage, right? And even a lot of banks that do pre-approvals, they're pretty garbage too, right?
I don't use that terminology because sometimes they don't understand it. So I'll say, how much of a deep dive did they take? What did you provide them?
Yep.
Did they ask for your last 2 years of tax returns? Then you just start probing that.
100%. Did you send in all your income and asset documents? Did they tell you no?
Yeah.
It's like, stop driving now, turn around, go back to the office. No, just kidding. Did they pull credit? Some people don't even pull credit, which is bonkers, or they don't even know what their credit scores are. Like, do more deep diving. Do you know if the loan officer submitted your loan to underwriting in advance? That's a great question for you guys to ask, right? Did the loan officer complete a full review of your interest rate options, costs and fees, and what to expect once you get your offer accepted?
No.
If you guys aren't asking that question, you should be. Why?
Because you don't want any surprises after you get an offer accepted.
You ain't lying.
All of a sudden,
100%. You know how many deals we save every year where clients didn't even know they had closing costs?
Yep.
Happens all the time. Where people are out looking at homes. I've gotten offers accepted with all you guys where they've got an offer accepted and they came back like, I didn't know my payments could be that high. You should absolutely. This one right here, look at my razor. That question's big. Did they complete a full review of interest rate options, costs and fees, and what to expect, right? Were they offered loan options, interest rate options, or was it just one? Ask that question, it's so big. Explain to the client how important it is for real estate agents, loan officers, and buyers to be on the same page. I'm preaching to you guys at this point, like it's just so important. Right here, oops, sorry. Once you have the loan officers, like make sure, here's what the takeaway. If you're working with somebody else and you don't know that lender, you get that lender's contact information right away, right? Once you have that contact information, you call that lender and you grill them, right? Because you're going to find out if you're wasting your time or if you're not wasting your time, okay? Do you have a full and complete pre-approval file? Can you close in 17 days or less? Because you need to know what time frames you're talking about. Can you remove contingencies in 7 to 10 days? Does your company allow you to complete cross-quals? Who's lost out of the deal because the loan officer will not do a cross-qual? Happens regularly. A lot of big banks won't do cross-quals at all. That stinks. Because you're talking to the loan officer now. Do you work nights and weekends? Right? Nope, I'm done at 5, you know? I'm out for Friday at 2:30. Don't call me until Monday, right? You want to know this. Will you call the listing agent when we submit an offer? Are you on board? Will you call it? Can I put you on the offer email? Will you reply back right away? Will you send a text message video raving about our client, right? Email and text always include the clients. And I say this all the time, you guys. Include the loan officer in your communication so that the client sees their reply time. If you sent that email at noon and you didn't get a response till 4:30, 4.5 hours? Like, were you at the hospital with your kid? Like, what's going on? Like, you want your client to see that, because if this loan officer is a person dragging their feet and you're not getting offers accepted because of it, they need to know, right? So, there we go. Hope that one helped. We're not going to do table work in this one. What to say to ensure clients get pre-approved. Market is super competitive. A low rate and payment means you qualify for more. We need to know what exactly your maximum purchase price is. If someone's giving you a range of $450,000 to $500,000 and you're just out like hoping that you're in that range, that stinks, because when you get your offer accepted, like, ooh, that's too high. I meant $475,000, right? Knowing those answers. Need to work with a local lender. Need to be able to communicate with the lender at nights and weekends. Need to be able to close in 15 days. Need to be able to remove contingencies. Need to be able to cross-qual. We need to be able to show a seller that you're fully pre-approved. We need to be able to move quickly. In fact, Cindy and I were just on a deal together where she had like 9 offers on her property and one of them sent the actual underwritten approval. That's pretty rad, right? We need to make sure the loan officer is selling your file to the listing agent, phone calls, text messages, emails, etc. Almost done, guys. Here we go. So, last couple things. Know your numbers. I know on the real estate side, you guys don't like to get into numbers. A lot of people don't. Some people do, but a lot of agents don't like to get into numbers. If you're dealing with a numbers person, you need to know your numbers. If you're dealing with a more like a type C person, I don't know what types they are. They're more emotional, and yeah, like maybe you don't need to know the numbers. You're selling more on the family and the home. Riley, shut up. Okay. Appreciation rates in the areas that you're looking, so important. Obviously, pull out your altos and get it going. Cost of waiting, I'm going to show you this in a second. Cost of waiting is extremely important for you guys to understand right now. Extremely important. What does the loan payment look like at 1 to 5 years that the client has the opportunity to refinance? Rent versus buy. The old rent versus buy, right? Most of y'all don't ever use it. I know because you never asked me for it. So let's look at this. Cost of waiting. We can work this up for you in 5 minutes. If you have anybody that's on the fence about buying, they need to see this. If you buy today at $750,000, your payment's high. It's at $5,847,000, right? If you wait 6 more months, and we're talking 5% appreciation, which did San Diego County get 5% appreciation since the beginning of the year, this year?
Just saw that.
Right?
Yeah.
That's it. Rates at 8%, 7.5%, and we still got 5%. What happens when rates go to 5.5%, right? In 6 months, if they wait, that $750,000 home is now $783,000. Yeah, the rate's lower at 7% instead of 7.5%, but look at their payment. Literally, it's lower by $20, $30, right? If you're at 6% and you wait 1 year, that home price that you could have got at $750,000 is now at $801,000. Yeah, the rate's lower and that's cool, but your payment's really not that much lower. So you just lost $50,000 in appreciation and only gained $400 in monthly savings. 2 years, you're up at $841,000 now. On the same house you could have gotten at $750,000. Payment is barely lower, $5,210. 3 years, if you waited 3 years to buy a home, yep, you're at 4.5%, that's awesome. But your house price is now $138,000 higher, and your payment really isn't that much lower. $700 is lower, I'm not saying it's not, I'm not being flippant about money and saying no one likes to save $700, but it's a big deal. You just cost yourself $178,000. So cost of waiting, it's a real thing. If you can explain that to people or send them to the loan officer so they can explain it, absolutely do it. It's a big deal. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. I love this. Scenario 1. If you bought the home for $750,000, put 10% down, your mortgage payment's at $5,847. We saw that, right? Refinance in 3 years at 4.5%, your payment, because you got rid of mortgage insurance, you got a lower rate, you're at $4,388. Right? Through refis and dropping mortgage insurance. If you wait 3 more years to buy that same house, price of the home is now $878,000. Your down payment required instead of $75,000 is $87,000, and your payment's at $5,322. What would you rather do? Buy when the rates are higher and refinance on the way down? Because what are they saying? I'm going to wait till rates are lower before I buy. Right? Go ahead. Wait till the rates are lower. It's only $500 less than what it would have been if you bought 3 years prior, but you missed all the opportunities to refinance on the way down. Knowing that your loan officer is going to explain that to them is huge. If you know how to explain it to them, even huger. Right? Or more huge. It's hugest. Sorry, what was Sam?
I think this is, I mean, we all kind of know this, but it's good to see the numbers in black and white and to explain that to the client. And adding on to that for us as agents, obviously, we were all out there during COVID when rates were low, and we know when they do get back to maybe the 4.5%, like okay, let's play games with contingencies again, right? Let's have 50 people at every open house. It's not only just the numbers, it's the whole emotional, like roller coaster that buyer has to go through during that process, because the inventories we know is not going to be there in 3 years, but the buyers will be because the rate's coming down. And then you've got to wait inspections, wait appraisals, get into that shit. It's like, it's not just the numbers, it's just the whole package.
100%. Someone said early, it was sell by telling stories. Gary, is that you? Those stories that Sam just brought up, those are the stories that you all should be talking about for anyone who wants to wait for rates to drop. Reference those stories about, oh yeah, there's 57 offers on a property.
2021.
Oh yeah, you had to waive your appraisal. You had to waive, you want to wait till that happens? That'd be fun. That'd be a great time, right? Or buy when the rates are high and you have an opportunity, and refinance on the way down. Because if you're waiting for rates to come down, it's inevitable. In your plan, rates are coming down. Just which way do you want to have it? Refinance on the way down, or wait till the rates are down and then be part of that club? That's a lot of fun. Sheree.
You know, one thing that I don't necessarily know the answer to is the cost of a refinance.
Yeah, great question.
We talked to them about that.
I'm going to give you guys a quick blurb on this, and this is exactly what you should say. The true cost, there's the cost and there's the true cost, okay? The true cost of a refinance is anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. That's the true cost. And they're going to say, my friend refined and said it was $18,000 to refinance. Like, okay, what that additional cost is, by the way, it's way over. I should have said $8,000, probably better. The cost to set up the new impound account, right?
Oh, yeah.
But remember, they get refunded what's in their old impound account, and usually that's enough to negate the other. So it's almost a complete gone. It's a negate. Watch. Thank you. Also, interest due will add another $2,500 to $3,000 onto their loan. Well, they're not paying a mortgage that next month, so that negates that as well. So the true cost, if you're breaking out a little analysis of what it really costs, it's about $2,000 to $3,000. If you're saving $300 a month and you can recoup that cost in, what's the numbers here? 2 years? No? A year and a half? Absolutely, refinance.
Isn't it rolled into the new loan?
Of course. Yeah. And there's some people that are trying to be fiscally responsible, they don't want to roll it in, but yeah, it'll be the same thing, regardless, right? The old buy versus rent. We can work this up for you in a heartbeat too, you just have to know how to explain it. Here we go. Yes, if you buy something over 5 years, you're going to spend a lot more in a mortgage payment than you will in rent, right? It's a lot more, $123,000 more. And if you look at that argument, you're like, you should probably keep renting then, right? But wait, there's more. I'm hitting my laser. If you look at everything else, and this is what drives me nuts, and I brought up an article by Zillow that was like, if you buy, it'll take you 13 years to even break even. What a bunch of jerks, right? Same thing with that jerk company, was it Forbes magazine that said San Diego County was going to drop 28% last year?
Yeah.
Anyways, got to break through the noise. Here we go. In 5 years appreciation gain, again, if we're just at 5%, and we can bring reports where it's 3% or 2%, and it still plays out. In 5 years, the appreciation gain, $215,000. Okay? Home went from $750 to $965. Amortization gain, because they're paying the mortgage balance down. That's the part of the mortgage where it's like a savings account that you don't get to touch. $36,000 you paid that mortgage down. That's a great start. Okay? If you sell the home, yeah, you got to pay some closing costs and realtor fees, $53,000. I gave you guys full pot, by the way, 6%. Okay? The tax benefits, Greg was talking about this earlier, it's a real thing. If you had a 32% tax rate, you got a tax write-off, $49,000 of tax benefits over a 5-year period. That's just about $10,000 per year. That's real money. What's $10,000 divided by 12? $800, right? That's $800 a month in actual savings. Okay? After 5 years, you've either paid rent, which you get nothing back, or you sell the property, you make $109,944. And if we're getting 5% every year, which I think is that's about the state average, right? California had some bad years, had some great years, but it's about 5%. Year 6, Year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10. Who here thinks that homes are going to stop appreciating? Come on. There's always one in the bunch. They're gonna stop appreciating, and they're never going to go up again. Exactly. Right? So, knowing your numbers, the rent versus buy, it's almost cliche, but it's so true if you break the numbers down and let people see. Right? Just got to refine them. If you need that, we can send it over to you in a heartbeat anytime. That is it.